day 10 readers. Congratulations on making it to day 10. If you are running a little behind in your reading, no problem. Just get caught up when you can. Remember, the goal is to read the Bible more than you were the year before, and hopefully you can get caught up with us and get right back on track. So let's look at Matthew chapter 8 today. And so what we see here is several instances of Jesus as healer. And so when you look at the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you'll see a lot of the same stories being told, maybe in a different order or with a little bit more detail in certain ones. Matthew probably wrote more topically, so not everything happens chronologically in this case. And so we're going to look at some of his instances where Jesus healed the people around him and showed people that he was the Son of God. And so first we see him healing this leper. And I love this story because this leper comes to Jesus with total faith that just knows, God, if you are willing, not if you are able, if you are willing, please heal me. And Jesus not only heals him, he touches him to heal him, which was a big deal because lepers were seen as unclean. And they were actually just right above the level of like a dead body. And so in Jewish culture, they had to stay 6 feet away from a leper. And if the wind was blowing near a leper, they had to stay 150 feet away. And so just the fact that Jesus would go up and touch him to heal him just shows the compassion that Jesus has for us. And if we think of having leprosy as this idea that our sins are this debilitating disease like leprosy was, and Jesus is willing to reach out and touch us to heal us from that, it just makes it all the more powerful when you read that story again. And then it goes into the Centurion, which is another great story of Jesus healing someone. The Centurion actually comes for his servant to be healed, and the Centurion's Roman, which means he would be a Gentile. And so he's like, just say the word, God, just say the word and my servant will be healed. And I love the part where it says Jesus marveled at his faith. And that's the kind of faith I think we want to have, is that Jesus marvels at our faith. And part of the Jewish culture was that you shouldn't go in the house of a Gentile. And so I think the Centurion, number one, knew that Jesus didn't want to make Jesus make that decision of, should I go into the house to heal him or not? Of course, Jesus was going to do what he was going to do because that was Jewish law, not God's law. And but he also knew that God only had to speak a word, and that I feel like he really knew who Jesus was even before the disciples realized who he was. And so it talks about him healing Peter's mother-in-law, and then he briefly talks about the cost of following him. And I think this part where it says, follow me and let the dead bury the dead, this person saying, I want to follow you, but let me stay with my dad and wait till he lives out his life. And then once he's gone, then I'll come follow you. And I think so many times we can do that, just that failure to obey at the first call. And when Jesus says, hey, I want you to do this, and we're like, well, let me do this first, and then I'll follow you. So check your heart today. Is there somewhere that Jesus is calling you, or something that Jesus is calling you to do that you've told him, wait till I do this, and then I'll go? Because we have to remember that there is a cost to following Jesus, that is not an easy road to do that, and there are sacrifices we have to make to follow him. And so we have this story right after that of Jesus calming the storm. He's in this sleep, deep sleep, obviously, as he's not woken up by the storm. And so we see the humanity of Jesus as he's sleeping from being tired, and then also the peace and the deity that he is, the God that he is, as he also rebukes the wind and the storm, so that everybody feels safe and at peace. And the disciples say, surely this, who is this? They start really putting two and two together, that this is the Son of God. And then it wraps up with a story about the men with the demons and how Jesus cast the demons into a herd of pigs who end up running off a cliff. And what is really interesting in this story to me is that the demons actually call him the Son of God. And so it just shows that they recognize who he is. And again, it's pointing out in this chapter, this truly is the Son of God and the power that he has and the authority that he has. So go throughout your day with the peace that Jesus has all authority over heaven and earth. And I just pray for you today that you will check your heart, look for those places to obey, and that you will have a faith that will be marveled at by Jesus. Y'all have a good day.